What's up, fellow polymaths? In this video, the Java fundamental tutorial, we'll be going over encapsulation. Encapsulation is also referred to as getters and setters. Encapsulation means to make sure that the data is hidden from other classes, which helps make the data in the class more secure, which means not being able to be tampered by other classes. To achieve encapsulation, the following must happen. Variables in the class should be declared as private. Public methods in the form of get and set methods, which are also called accessors and mutators respectively, which will be able to update or return the variables of the private variables of that class. Since private variables are not accessible outside the class, encapsulation allows other classes to access those variables indirectly using the methods of that class that is being accessed. Get methods return the value of the variable, and set methods set the value of the variable. While getter and setter methods can start with any name, in good practice, they start with get and set. Now that we have some details as far as get and set methods, let's go into the code and try them out. Alright, so here we're in the code right now. Since we've been using the animal class for a while, I thought it'd be a good idea if we just made a new class. So here we created the person class, and in this person class, it's going to contain private variables as well as get and set methods that will be able to allow other classes to retrieve those private variables. Alright, so we've created three variables, names, age, and location. And these variables, if they're called by other classes, they won't be able to be accessed because they're private. So because of this, we'll need to create some getter and setter methods, which are public methods, so that other classes will be able to access these variables. Alright, so I filled out the code in this person class. As mentioned before, we created three variables, and with these three variables, I created get and set methods for each variable. So here we have our get age, which returns the age integer value, and then we have our set age method, which outputs the age of the person. And then we have our get location, which returns the location of the person, and then the set location, which allows us to set the location. And then we have the get and set names. So let's go over to the main class and test these get and set methods out. So here we're in the main class, and we're going to be retrieving those get and set methods from the person class. So we're going to create a person object. And once we create the person object, we're going to be calling those get and set methods that we created. All right, so we created the object called person1, and then we set the age, location, and name, and now we're going to be outputting the information about this person1. So let's run the code right now, and I'll explain what's happening. All right, in the command line, we see that the age is equal to 22, the location is USA, and the name is John Smith. So in line 8, we set the age at 22, which is a set method that we used from the person class, and then we set the location to USA, passed in as our parameter, and we set the name as John Smith. On line 11, we call the get age method, and that retrieves the age of the person that we set on line 8. And then on line 12, we get the get location method, which was set on line 9. And on line 13, we get the name of the person using the get name method, which was set on line 10. And that allows us to output the information about the user without having to directly get the information from the private variables. So that's a pretty quick example of encapsulation. It's very useful and used widely in production. It pretty much allows you to use the private variables without directly using the private variables. All right, practice this a bit on your own so you can get the hang of it. All right, here's an assignment for this topic. Number 1, write a get and set method that takes in your name and outputs the main method. Number 2, write a get and set method that takes in the country that you live in and outputs it to the main method. If this video was of any value to you, then please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.